friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. I am so excited to be here. I am also excited to talk about the items that I have in my, I guess, monthly, although it's not really monthly at this point. It's like every 2 months is kind of the cadence I'm going with these days. I'm excited to show you 2 of my favorite looks that I've been coming up with over the last couple of months using the products that were in my Project Empties Project Pan Use It Up kind of thing. Title wise, it's kind of just stuck there. I'm not sure. Before we get into it, if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Em and you're watching Makeup Breathe. If this is your first rodeo with me and you want to come back and hang out again in the future, please be sure to click that subscribe button. And if you feel so inclined, leave a nice comment below. Let's have a chat in the comments and hang out. I am living for that life because COVID life is a little lonely, you guys. Although things are opening up again and I'm fully vaccinated and some of my friends are too. So I'm so excited to finally get to see and hug people. Anyone else feel me on that? Okay, let's move on. I forgot my moisturizer and I'm too lazy to get up and go in the other room to get it. So I'm actually using a lotion instead. But you know what? They are all somewhat the same, only this has fragrance in it. But I don't tend to have issues with fragrance unless my eczema has come back in full swing, but it hasn't. Cross my fingers that it'll stay that way. So yeah, this particular look is kind of neutral and kind of boring, but I also like that it's so understated and simple because it's easy to do. It generally takes me only 10 minutes, if that, to get ready, which is great for those mornings when I need to jump in the car and drive somewhere in a hurry. Maybe not in so much of a hurry, but you know what I mean. Maybe, in case you're a cop in the Seattle area. I'm not speeding. So let's first start with the products that I drew in my randomized monthly project pan thing. So how it works is I have this entire spreadsheet full of every single makeup product that I own. It's an obscene amount of products. The number goes over 1,200 because yes, that's how many products I have, and yes, I sat there and went through my entire collection and wrote down everything and put it in that spreadsheet. It took me hours. It took me hours, folks. Anywho, so the products that were drawn for this month were the ABH Carli Bybel palette. It looks like this. And then I mistakenly thought this was a pink or a green. I can't remember which, but I was, as I said, very mistaken. I drew this pigment. This is from Beauty from the Earth, which is a brand I don't think does cosmetics anymore. I think they're still around, but they focus on just, you know, like skincare and body and bath kind of stuff, not so much the makeup side of things. But this is a loose pigment called Ushakaron, and it is a beautiful like marigold, kind of buttery golden rod kind of yellow. This has been fun to play with, and it actually pairs quite nicely with this palette, which you might not think that it would. With some of these tones here on the bottom, it plays really well with those. So that was kind of a serendipitous draw. So woohoo. And then I drew the Urban Decay Brow Blade Pencil Duo, and I will admit this is not my favorite product. In fact, I mentioned it in one of my videos in my MMIS back in December, where I put it on the naughty list on products that I wasn't really happy with. And it's not because it's a bad product, it's just that the ink stain pen is red. It's almost like a brown red, which is not the kind of color I like in my brows, given that, hello, my hair is not red, right? And then the other side is perfectly brown. Can I just be on that airplane? Unless you're landing. But I want to go where you're going, if it's cool and exciting. No? No? You're just gonna fly away? Okay, cool. I'm happy with that too. The other side of it, however, the actual waterproof pencils they call it, works really nicely, and it's a great color shade. So that side I've been easily able to work, and I'm trying to use up the ink stain side what can I say? It's not my favorite. But I've been making that work. Another product which was kind of funny for me to draw was another ABH product, but it was also another brow product. Now the thing that makes this interesting is that this is the Brow Wiz from ABH in the color Auburn. Again, I do not have red hair anymore. So this is one of those products where I was like, how am I supposed to use it? So my friend Sam mentioned in the live that I could use it as a lip liner, repurposing it as a lip liner. So you'll see me use it as a lip liner in this video in my second look. So that was kind of an innovative way to use a brow pencil. So thanks, Sam. I think that was an awesome idea. So I am going to stick this in my lip liner drawer, which probably sounds a little weird that I would do that with a brow pencil, but it works. And then last but not least, I drew this L'Oreal Infallible matte gloss cream thing. Oh, the writing is so small. It is called Forbidden Kiss. It is a really pretty wine berry shade. I struggle with these lip creams because they bleed so easily, and I forgot about that when I had started using this. It smells pretty, it applies nicely, it just doesn't wear the best unless you fill in using some sort of lip liner or you have some kind of barricade to prevent that from bleeding, especially if your lips are very lined. So that's everything. There were 5 products. Let's get into it. I've been chit-chatting too long and not doing anything cool and fun and worthwhile on my face, right? Here's how I've been using the ink stain. I've been taking that and just kind of using it, feathering it into this inner corner since it's not going to show up as much, and that's where I tend to be the most sparse in terms of lacking the hair. If you were like me in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, the thing was to not have a unibrow. So I overplucked in this inner corner and I lost a lot of that hair. So now I have to draw it in. And while I don't like the color of the ink stain, I have to say it does a really nice job emulating real hairs. Va va voom. It's amazing how brows can change your face and make it just look, you know, fully snatched without being snatched. Kind of. Was that kind of like an old person trying to use a new kid-like term and just failing miserably? Like looking like the uncool mom or dad in the room that wears those fluffy jeans that just don't look good on anyone? Was that me just now? Because I feel like that was me. Now to dip into this palette. This is going to be the most basic look. I'm going to take this shade here, which is Bybel. Bybel? How does she say that? Bybel or Bybel? Let me know. Anyway, I like to take this shade here. It's a muted brownish mauve tone. It's a super basic eyeshadow and it's seriously the easiest makeup look I'll ever do. Because I just take a really large, kind of fluffy flat brush like this and I just pop, 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 plop, plop. Basically just brush this all over the eyelid and just kind of sweep that up into the crease and just kind of blend it out and create a hazy kind of light wash of color on the eyelid. And I like this color because it's dark enough, at least for my skin tone, to show up, but it's not so dark that it just overtakes the eye, but it adds a little something something there. You know, sometimes, as much as I love color, I've just been into neutral eye makeup these days. Neutral, understated, that sort of thing. That's basically it. I'll tell you what, I just do a simple wash of color. I'll be honest, I haven't really dipped into these glittery kind of shades here on the end, mostly because they're pretty, but they don't quite fit in with some of these other shades for whatever reason. So this palette has a really interesting color story because there are warm tones and cooler tones, but they don't necessarily vibe together. Not in the way that I kind of like wearing colors together. It has been an interesting palette, I'll say that. Some days I feel like I need a little bling or a little bit of sugar. Wow, sugar. A little bit of sparkle. We'll call it sugar. So I like to take this one here, which is called Moo, which is a foiled gold type of eyeshadow. Or I'll take this one here, which is called Mandala, which is a duochrome kind of between a red violet, like a light red violet, and kind of a blue. So sometimes I'll take either of these and just kind of pop it into the inner tear duct left or maybe on the center of the lid if I feel like I need a little extra. Let's do both because let's just live dangerously. I'm going to take the Moo or the gold shade and put that just on the center of the lid here. I'm doing kind of a pseudo halo eye. Like, this is the cheatiest way to do a halo eye. Just apply a wash of color and then just take a really nice foiled shadow and just apply it directly onto the center of the lid. Pat that on and just kind of soften by taking like the other side of the brush and just kind of patting over to blend out. That is like the easiest halo eye ever. And then I'll take Mandala onto kind of a smaller brush. And I'm going to pop that just here in the tear duct. It's going to add just an interesting little pop of color without it being so bold. And it's not going to really compete with that gold as much. But that's it. It is, I said, super easy. Easy. So this is the colorful version. Otherwise, I'll just leave it as a wash of color. And that's it. I have been skipping the eyeliner lately. So I just go straight to mascara. There we go, that's it for the eyes. Now I'm going to clean up the rest of the face with concealer, bronzer, that sort of thing. And then I'll show you with the lips, so I'll be right back. Alright, there is the finished eyes, no more dark circles. And then I went ahead and applied some of that eyeshadow on the bottom just to kind of even it out, and some mascara on the bottom lash line. I applied some cream blush, and then over the top of that, a little bit of a lighter pinker powder blush, anyway, some blush, and I did a tiny bit of bronzer, but not much because I didn't really want to go overboard with that. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this shade up here, which is called Bully, which is a nice dusty pink color. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it, but it's not too bad. I'm going to take a small brush and tapping it in there and then tapping it off because this stuff is potent. I'm going to use it as a highlighter. But I'm going to only focus the highlighter on the top, very top here of my cheekbone. I'm not going to bring it down anymore. I like that it gives this wet look to the skin without it being wet. So I decided that this is going to be my primary highlighter for the month because I wanted to get more use out of this palette. So that's how I've been kind of using that. And it creates this like glass, almost like wet skin look, which I am obsessed with. That is so pretty. Okay, for the lips, because the eye look is pretty basic, pretty neutral, that is when this comes into play. I haven't been using the ABH pencil with this color because they don't quite work together. One's a little bit of a warmer brown, whereas this is a deep kind of purpley berry tone, as you can see. Instead of doing the whole thing with lip liner and just kind of, you know, worrying about that feathering, I've been just applying a little bit to the bottom lip and then blending it out with my finger and using it more as like a stain. I like how this berry tone kind of works with that Mandala shade that I put in the inner corner of the lid because it plays off of that purple and they go well together. But I have this warmth on the lids, which looks really pretty with the berry. And then just overall, the neutral effect that this eye look has is really basic, really simple. I'm really enjoying this. As you can see, this is why this is one of my favorite looks to do. So let's move on to look 2, and here we go. Welcome to day 2 of my Project Empties, Project Pan makeup looks. Today's look is going to be fun and colorful. The first thing I'm going to do is run Urban Decay Brow Blade through my brows, as you can imagine. Okay, so I'm finished. For the lips, I am using a brand new to me lip gloss from Ofra called Pink Panther. It's really kind of fruity in a weird kind of way. Knowing that I'm going to be wearing a mask in a little bit, I'm probably going to take the lips off, but I wanted to show you kind of what I've been doing, just kind of putt-putting around the house. Actually, I'll show you what it looks like when the gloss wears down. So it leaves a little bit of a cast. Wow, my lips look really plump and juicy today. They're really dry, but as you can see, a lot of that brown transferred off. There's a little bit of residual left, enough where my lips look like vump vump, you know. Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed that second look. As I said, these were my two favorite looks that I came up with for the month, and these two I've been pretty much wearing interchangeably. Out of the Carli Bybel palette, I have used some of these cooler tones on the lid, but not as much. Like this one here, which is called Jode. It's kind of a silver bluish tone. I've used that a little bit on the lids, but it's a little dark for what I tend to wear. And then Libra as well. It's like your typical like satin taupe shade. That one has been really pretty on the lid. But that's pretty much it for what I've used this palette for. If I were to use this every day forever, for however long, the shades I would probably hit pan on the fastest are Bare, which I've actually made a really good dent in because it's your typical kind of off-white shade. It works really well for highlight or kind of an all-over color. Bowley for sure, especially since I've been using it as a highlighter. Cindy, which is this coral shade. And Bybel, of course, because I've been using that as an all-over lid color. Those are the ones I'd probably hit pan on the fastest. The other ones, maybe not as quickly. But anyway, I hope this video inspired you to kind of dig through your collections to find new ways to use things. Be it the brow pencil or maybe taking a bolder lip color and making it work for you a little bit more for kind of like transitional makeup or something. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, let's end there. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay electric as always. Mwah. Bye! Oh, my nose is just cat hair. I tell you, it'll be the death of me.